Hey, what's going on everyone? Vega here for SerpentX Tech, and I just got a few things I need to do, and I wanted to take you along with me for the journey. It is a beautiful day here in Florida, but also very windy, and I want to consolidate everything over here. We got the mini Doge miner on the table, and I want to put that next to the Doge 2, just basically right here in this area. We have a power supply, hand-me-down from Red Panda Mining. This is the HP DPS 1200 FB. Very common power supply, most sought after, very efficient, and it's actually powering all my mining rigs in there. We could Breakout board with a power button so we can, turn on, off manually. We could sync it if we wanted to, but I don't need to. So all of that with the veteran miner cables. This is the 6-pin to 6+2 pin connector. Which we're going to need. We got 5 total. I don't have the carbon one yet from Veteran Miner. That's going to be powering the mini Doge, the Doge 2, and then also the FutureBit Apollo BTC miner. Now that has 2 6-pins, that has 2 6-pins, and that has 1. So that's why I have 5 cables. And honestly, if we get the BTC miner from FutureBit on a server power supply, we should be able to overclock it, which we may do in a different video. Also, something that I won't probably tackle today in this video is this is dual 4-pin PWM to multiple splitter. I guess it's 1 to 2, and that works out perfectly because I plan on moving this C1100 FPGA into this system. The problem is it's running great, and usually when things are running great and you try to mess with it, you make it worse. So I don't want to move it just yet, but that's an inefficient 700 watt power supply that's using more electricity than it really needs to. There's a 750 in there, and if I take out the card that's in there, which is the ATI HD 7550, I believe, and put the FPGA in there, I can run off of integrated graphics from the 9600K and do just fine. This is basically my NAS and everything I need to run my Flux node, Chia, all that good stuff. So the FPGA can go in there and I can make it work. The biggest concern is clearance. So without this 6-pin connector, which you can see adds a little bit more, and I measured it from the end of the shroud to where it sits, would technically fit in this case, but you can see it's going to be a really tight fit in there. It's like going to be right up against the power cables for the hard drive. That's my biggest concern. The data cables will be fine. It's the power I'm concerned about. So I'm gonna have to shut down the Flux node, the Chia node, everything. So I'm not gonna tackle that today. We're gonna focus on what I can do, and that is to get the Doge 2 miner, the FutureBit Apollo, and the Boss mini Doge miner all connected via server power supply. And you may have just saw it, I installed a rack. So this is a little shelving unit in which you could put like your surge protector and stuff like that. Do a little bit of cable management, which clearly I do not do for all the people that keep telling me to do it. But I got it off of Amazon, really cheap, 20 bucks for 2. And it comes with all the hardware, little bracket system, zip ties or Velcro ties, everything you need. It doesn't drill into the desk, it just clamps on there. And that's all I really needed to do, because the plan is going to be to put this server power supply up there, maybe upside down, and then run all the cables and power to it. I didn't want it just sitting on the ground, or I didn't want it sitting on top of the chassis. So that's the plan, to consolidate everything all onto this guy right here, and then tackle the FPGA later. So this is actually one of the main reasons I am doing this. I cannot power this Doge 2 miner down because the power cable is connected to the 750 watt power supply. And so if I need to do any maintenance on that guy, I have to shut down my Flux node, my Chia node, my other VMs and stuff like that. Now I can deal with it when the FPGA is eventually in there, right? Because I'm gonna run a VM using a Linux-based operating system, probably Ubuntu, to run Team Red Miner on that. So it's gonna be in its own virtualized machine on this rig, but that I can deal with. Having to shut down the Flux node because power outage or this does something silly or I need to do maintenance, that's really annoying. I just came up with a temporary solution, so powering off the rig was that temporary solution. So now I need to shut down the Chia node, I need to shut down the Flux node, and it's a big inconvenience because when your Flux node is not maintaining uptime, that can hurt your profits, and obviously that can hurt your position, your ranking, and whether or not people will actually use your node for different services, whether it's one program or another. So very unfortunate, but we got to shut this guy down in order to unplug the Doge 2 miner and get started. Now I already have the power supply sitting up there. We're going to use the power cable that the Apollo was using, the C13 cable, to plug into the front of the power supply, and then we should be good, have all the cables routed downwards, and just need to make sure that we connect everything and that breakout board doesn't bow too much. You can see the slight angle on there, which is why I position all the cables towards the inside, but we should be good with just that, and they're plenty long enough to reach everywhere. So now with everything turned off, we should be able to shut down this particular rig or system, and then go ahead and, as fast as we can, power everything back up and get the Flux node back online as quickly as possible to minimize downtime. If I stay down too long, then I gotta go to the Zelcore app and hit the start button on it. So we're gonna do that now as this power's down, to go ahead and take off the power cables for the Doge 2 miner. So we got the node, we booted up the computer, immediately got the node up and running, but the Doge 2 and everything else is off. Well, obviously not that because it has its own power supply, but this guy is off. Unfortunately, because the way the team designed this, the power cable clips that clip in there, that hole, you see that hole? Way too small. So unfortunately, Veteran Miner, I'm having to trim, if you will focus, I'm having to trim a little bit of this clip on the inside. Not for this one, but we'll see how it fits for that guy, because you can see how much space they gave us over here, right? So that will clip in just fine. Just need to run an Ethernet cable to the switch, but the back side of the Apollo should be fine too. It's just the Doge 2 miner that I had to cut a little bit of the clip to get the 6 pins to go in, unfortunately, but we're almost there. These two are done, wired and Ethernet. Now we're gonna do the future bit miner. Need to shut it down, which is what we're doing. Don't wanna leave it shut down for too long because this is solo mining Bitcoin. We could just be throwing away one of our chances. We could have been like 0.5% away from hitting a block, but I just screwed it up because I shut it down. And then steal the power cable from it to power the server, and we should be good to go. You know it's shut down when the fan speed ramps up quite drastically. I'm not sure if you can hear that. Before we power on everything, because we do have everything running and my beautiful Veteran Miner cables -1 showing, is this clip, right? So I had the same problem with this by 8 to dual 6+2. I had to cut off just a little bit of it, right? And now I did this a while ago. I had to just do it a little bit for one cable from Veteran Miner, and that was for the Doge 2 miner. Everything else, it connected like it's supposed to. I'm not sure why some manufacturers do it this way and then some manufacturers do it a different way, but you can see I cut off a little bit. This is from the one I had to cut. It's not much, but all I'm doing is using an X-Acto knife to kind of go down very slowly, and then I cut from the side and it pops off just like any plastic piece. And it sucks that we can't use this power supply. We could probably use it, but you know, this is a really nice power supply from the FutureBit team. What does it say? 12 volt, 16.7 amps. It can run on 100 to 240. I'm not sure what the watt rating is. Oh, 200 watts, there you go. So 300 watts is the max this guy can pull, and we should have that luxury now. So let's hit the power button and see if I messed up. Everything's coming online. I can feel the air. I did have to turn this Doge miner upside down because if I didn't, the Ethernet cable would have a longer run. So fans are spinning, but we got to make sure we get connected. So give it a minute to boot up. Matter of fact, it says it's coming online. There it goes. Boom, automatically picked up. It's going to start hashing on the pool and everything that I said. solo mining Bitcoin. These two are going to be on Litecoin and Doge, earning me some more, and then eventually I'll move the FPGA over. But that's going to be pretty much it for this video. Little adventure with Vega, I guess you could say, and we'll see what we can overclock the Apollo BTC miner to in the future. But now, if I need to do maintenance on these two, or even the Apollo, I don't need to shut down my rig. The Apollo, even though it was on his own power supply, didn't really fit into that category. But these guys definitely couldn't be powered off the same system, because then all my nodes and everything will go down. Speaking of which, Flux is back up and running, but I got to get Chia up and running, and that's it. So do me a favor, guys, on the way out, hit the like button. Make sure to get subscribed, hit the notification bell to stay up to date, as well as check out some links in the description to help support the channel and what we do here. And I will catch you in the next one. Take care of yourselves, and thank you for staying with us through the whole video. If you made it, do me a favor, write a comment down below. Let me know you made it all the way through the video and what your favorite part was of my stupidity. Take it easy.